Hi everybody, my name is Becky George and I'm with Becky George Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to put a raised stencil with Venetian plaster on a really cute end table that I had done. And I'll show you the beginning of the end table. Oop. You can see that? It's a 1990s end table. I'm sorry, I apologize for the ring coming through there. And so what I did layers of Venetian plaster, thin layers. Did thin layers of Venetian plaster with, as you can see here, I started off with just straight Venetian plaster. Then I did a Venetian plaster mixed with Scandinavian gray milk paint, and I just alternated them 3 or 4 times to get the desired look I wanted, because I wanted some of the gray showing through, kind of like a marbling effect. And then I also used, let's see, some light wax and some dark wax. Of course, I have my bowl with my water in it so that I can clean my trowel. And I also have 2 different trowels here, one for the putting on the big areas and another one for my actual stencil. And the stencil I used today is from Amy's Ode to Italy collection. It's this one here that turned out really cute, and that's the one I used on my table. So let's get started here, and I'm going to put on the last coat of Venetian plaster for you. And I didn't do each layer in all areas so that I could get this effect here, so it kind of looks like it's worn. And you'll see what I mean when I show you the finished piece on the table. So let's turn this down and get this started. Let's make sure you can see everything. I can never tell whether or not we can see everything here. So let me just adjust it. So, yep, you should be able to see. And I did mix up my gray ahead of time because the gray is the last one that we're going to be putting on. So I'm just going to, I'm left-handed, so I'm going to put my plaster on this side. But if you're right-handed, you would definitely want to put it on this side. But I'm left-handed, so I put it on this side. I'm just going to kind of go. This is kind of random because I don't want it to be all over. And like I said, I just did thin layers so that I could just kind of get it. You can kind of hopefully pop some off, or you can go like this and go, and this will bring it down to different levels too. If you see how I'm gouging it right here, you see that? The gouging? Can you see what I'm doing? Because I can't tell. Am I too close? Keep applying until I get the desired look, and I can just kind of go random like that too. Does not necessarily have to be And I will answer any questions after this today. After I'm done with this video, I will go back and I will check everything and make sure that I can answer any questions that I have to. So. And what I like about this, there is no right or wrong. And this gray will dry a lot lighter than what it's showing here. And I'm holding my trowel at about a 45-degree angle. See how I messed up there? Just kind of smooth it all out. And I want this plaster to look like it does have some age to it, so that is the reason for my light and dark wax, because you really don't have to seal a plaster at all. Put the trowel off again. I love Venetian plaster because it is very versatile. You could do this on a wall. It doesn't have to be on a table. It could be on a wall. It could be in a bathroom because Venetian plaster loves water. You always want to make sure that you keep your trowel really clean. And be careful of these edges too, because they are very sharp. So I'm just going to kind of... And I would love to show you a little technique that can actually pop off the plaster and give it a really cool look. If I can do it, I will do it. You can tell some of it's popping. I love it. See how that's bubbling up there? Right there? And just keep on going until you get some popping off. This is what I want it to do. Sorry for the table shaking. But when it gets a certain dryness, it will just kind of pop and give you that really cool look. It's kind of a... I don't know how to describe it actually. I just love when it pops. You can run your trowel through it like this if you like to, and just kind of go and make different motions. Some more of that popping off. To me, this is just so satisfying to sit there and watch that pop off. Just makes that look so old. There we go. Can you see that? Get my camera to stop shaking. But I will stop that right there. But I'll see how that just kind of gives it that little pop. It's just so fun. And now that you can see that it's almost drying, you can see these little spots here. that I have lifted up. That will add really cool texture to your piece when you're done. And the next thing I want to do is make sure that I have everything off of here. I am going to take my stencil and I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to get some tape here. You really do not want to burnish this piece. I like it natural. It'll give it some, to me it gives it more depth. And that way your stencil will stick on better. I like to stick on. And I do my taping on all four sides just so that I feel more secure about not getting a bleed through with my Venetian plaster here. And what I like about this is it does not have to be perfect. You just kind of, whatever you like. That's most of my things that I do is mostly it's like whatever you like. And let's make sure that we can get this underneath here. And you can see what I'm doing. And you just kind of spread it over. You do not want to work it too much, because then you might end up with some seepage underneath there, and that's not what you want. Most of the time I let my stuff dry like 24 hours before I move on to the next step. But right now we don't have time to do that. Don't think you guys want to spend the night. So I will do that, and I will lift that up. And I will show you that. Stencil, and with the milk paint in here I use the Scandinavian gray Venetian plaster mix, and usually I'll let that dry, and then I'm going to go just for show you again. It's very easy. This process is really easy to do. Just takes patience, and sometimes I do not have patience. I have been learning though. That I'm a lot more satisfied if I take my time. This is kind of rushing it, but and what I like about this too is when the finished piece, you'll see that I've done just a very light gold leaf on it. And I also took some milk paint and painted some accents on there, which I will show you in a second. Whoops. See how I didn't get that one really the way I wanted it to? Which is okay. So all we got to do, you can either take it and go like this and scrape it off, and we will just start over. That's all you got to do. Kind of glad that that happened, because it'll show you what happens. And I'll just go. And we'll see if we have a better outcome this time. But always make sure I'm going to take my edge. And sometimes I want it raised a little bit more than what it is, and that's fine too. Let's see if I don't smooth out the top, you'll get that rough edge. Let's see how this came out this time. Okay. Okay. And when it comes out, it will have a little bit of a texture on that side right there, but that's okay. See? Okay. And now we will let this dry here. And I will show you what it's like when it's dry. We'll dry it off a little bit. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's pretty much dry on the board. And then what I'm going to show you is just how to highlight a little bit of here with some milk paint. And then I've got Summer Bonfire that I mixed up just a touch of. And then if you want to, you can take a little bit of size on each one of these little dots here, and here I just kind of accented everything, the little dots, and I did a little bit of gold leaf on the table, which I will show you, but I'll show you how I did just a little bit of accent here to almost make it look like the light was on. And this one here is drier, so then I'm gonna trying to figure out if you can see it or not. Just kind of go along the edge, just very ever so lightly. And you can do as much accenting as you want to. You can even take like a little bit of Nor and highlight like along this ridge here to kind of make it look like a shadow. But I just kind of, you know, highlighted. This one is still wet, so I don't know how well it's going to take, but and then you just kind of let that dry. And I just did a little accenting with like Nor, like wherever, like a shadow, kind of give it just a little bit more depth. But then after that, I'll just do a little bit of this because it's not really dry, but then I will show you my finished piece. And you always remember to offload. So then this will just give you a little bit of color, just a little bit of shadow. I'll just kind of go. Do have cardboard. Always remember to offload. And then just kind of went around the outside of my table. Like I said, for sake of time, this is not quite dry. And then what I also did was I took a little bit of this yellow and just kind of went in here. Just a little bit. Nothing was perfect. And it just gave it a little bit more color, like there was more layers. I didn't do it to all of them, but just some of it. And this will dry lightly. And I just kind of went in different spots, but you kind of get the idea here of how I just kind of accented a little bit. But yeah, I kind of got sidetracked. Sorry about that. But then we just kind of accented. And then if you pounce into, like, especially when you get to the dark wax, I'm not going to wax this whole thing because it's not quite dry. But it just kind of muddies it. Not muddy. I shouldn't say muddy. It gives it a little bit more character. Because, like, you can even see, like, when I hit the raised edges, it will give a little bit more character. You don't need a whole lot of wax because, like I said, it's not to protect anything. It is just to make sure, you know, to accent and highlight your areas. Okay. So I'm rushing this along a little bit here, but you can kind of, I just lightly, see how that just kind of gave it a little bit of shadow. And I just basically went around, oops, see I didn't take enough wax off. It just kind of ages, and then it'll highlight your areas where you've pulled off. But you want to just take your, most part thing is with this is just take your time and go slowly. Well, this one is not gone very slowly. And then if you wanted to, you could just take your rag and you could buff it a little bit. But it just kind of, I'll show you the finished piece. The finished piece turned out really, really nice, and it gives it a lot of definition. So let's go show you that piece. Okay, here is the table, and let me show you. This is the top. This is what I was trying to get across and show you. See the detail on it? Now I kind of, just with certain spots, I went with the summer bonfire. And then here is where I went in with the gold leaf. Now I kind of did that. And then I kind of accented here and right in here. I did that with the Nor just to kind of give it a little bit more depth and definition. But there's that. And then I even kind of went in with a little bit of the Nor, and see how I pulled that out? And then I just kind of went around the edges with the light and dark wax to kind of give it. Isn't that pretty? But yeah, there's the table. And then there's the legs and stuff to go with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Flip that around, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really hope to see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.